Okay guys, last time I did the Reputation tour, I messed up so bad and I cut the performance short and I didn't even know. But like there's this long pause, everyone's applauding. I assumed it's over. I didn't want to go into the next song and possibly ruin that because I want to watch all of these separately. So in today's video, I will make up for that by doing New Year's Day. So yes, I actually found a timestamp where I'm somewhere in between those two songs. I'll be doing New Year's Day and the opening speech and Getaway Car. So I'm excited to get into this. You already know Taylor Swift's Reputation tour is one of the coolest things that we've watched on this channel, and I am trying to finish this so that we can do the 1989 tour, which unfortunately has to be on Patreon. I'm sorry guys, it gets blocked on here all the time. But I'm ready to get into this, so we're gonna do it. You already know how I feel about the Reputation tour. In fact, I'll make you guys happy real quick. You guys already know that I bought the Reputation vinyl because I think this album is just so stand out for her career. And I'm actually kind of bummed about this though because it's a picture disc, and I don't think you guys understand that picture disc vinyl isn't even that good sounding, so that kind of bummed me out. I'm gonna have to get another copy that's not a picture disc. But I thought I would show you guys this because you guys always ask about the Lover vinyl, but you never ask about any of the other collection. I have her entire collection on vinyl and you guys never ask about anything but Lover. So let's give Reputation some love in this. All right, we're gonna get into this. Just remember, I have a ton of Taylor Swift exclusive Patreon content on Patreon, stuff that gets blocked, stuff that I did exclusively for them. Link is in the description. Let's do it. This song, I remember when I did the album video to it, I don't know that I really spoke very highly of it. I think I said it was good or something and I kind of just like went to the next one. And I feel like as I've listened to the album and I've heard the song more and more, it's grown on me significantly more. And I think that's kind of like a good lesson for albums or songs in general. There are songs or albums that I've listened to that maybe on the first or second listen, I didn't really get it or I didn't really feel connected to it. But after like the fourth or fifth listen, they become some of my favorites. And I'm sure that everyone in the world knows this about music, but music really changes based on where you're at in life. And I feel like New Year's Day just hits a little bit different than it did maybe the first time I heard it. I'll be there for the toast to the town, babe. If you strike out and you're crawling home. I've always said this about her performances, but it's kind of crazy how powerful even just a Taylor Swift sitting at her piano, how powerful and how moving that can be. And you can feel just so much power in the vocals of this song, and it carries throughout this entire stadium. Granted, yeah, they had such a big budget for amazing sound. It's just crazy that one person with a piano can make this big of an impact in a stadium. It's sick. Before we let this pause go on forever, I just love when she does these breaks in songs, or anytime the music stops for a second, you hear this entire crowd always reacting to whatever she's doing. Huge screams, you know, heavy, you know, big "we love yous," like all kinds of stuff. And I feel like, especially at this time, and I'm sure I've said this numerous times over this tour, but I think it's important that you guys know my stance on this. This was such a important moment in her career. This was such a big moment. And even for somebody like me who really just started discovering like the real music of Taylor Swift over the summer, all the shit she went through to get here, the fact that she sold out all of these stadiums, the fact that everybody showed up, they never left her side. I feel like these moments are so impactful, and that's why when I talk about how intimate this seems, even for it being at these massive stadiums that fit, you know, hundreds of thousands of people sometimes, everything feels close, and I think that had to be one of the biggest things that she wanted to do when she put this together. I'm sure one day I'll see a video where she talks about how she put this together and stuff, but having the ability to have your fans so close to you because they stood by your side when you were part of cancel culture, essentially, it's just kind of incredible. So I love that. Okay, I'm going back in. So gnarly.
I love you guys so much.
There's glitter on the floor after the party. Girls carrying their shoes down in the lobby. Candle wax and Polaroids on the hardwood floor. You and me forever. Don't breathe.
Oh, I love when everything comes back in like that. And when I say everything coming back in, I mean the entire stadium singing these songs with her. And she literally she's being harmonized by like 60,000 people or some shit.
When it's hard, when it's wrong, when we're making mistakes, I'm on midnight. I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. Hold on to the memories that you hold on to you. Hold on to the memories that you hold on to you. Hold on to the memories that you hold on to you.
Yes, getting to hear her backup singers. That's one of my favorite parts about this. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about her performing that song right there, obviously, you know, it's a little bit different when you don't have Long Live going into it, but of course we did that one in full in the last video, so if you didn't see that, I don't think it's blocked yet, so you can definitely still check that out. But for me, I just like the fact, and I've said this a lot, I just love that crowd interaction. I feel like that is what really takes the Reputation to the next level, because it really is the people that stood by you this entire time through thick and very thin, and everybody comes together in this moment. And so when you're singing a song like this, you hear the whole crowd interacting with that song too, and people just screaming how much they love you and stuff. I just feel like that's got to be a very special moment for someone like Taylor Swift, who went through all of that, and, you know, all being on false pretenses, you got canceled for something that you really didn't even do. And I feel like that's a very, I don't know, just big moment. So it's kind of cool to hear that. And again, that song has really grown on me over the time that I've listened to albums and I've heard the song more and more. I've grown to have an appreciation for it. Okay, now we're doing the opening speech and Getaway Car.
When she fell apart. Cracked her bones on the pavement she once decorated as a child with sidewalk chalk. When she crashed, her clothes disintegrated and blew away with the winds that took all of her fair weather friends. When she looked around, her skin was
Blew away with the winds that took all of her fair weather friends. At this time, I feel like that definitely had a lot of meaning to it.
When she crashed, her clothes disintegrated and blew away with the winds that took all of her fair weather friends. When she looked around, her skin was spattered with ink, forming the words of 1,000 voices, echoes she heard even in her sleep. Whatever you say, it is not right. Whatever you do is not enough. Your kindness is fake. Your pain is manipulative. When she lay there on the ground, she dreamed of time machines and revenge and a love that was really something, not just the idea of something. When she finally rose, she rose slowly, avoiding old haunts and sidestepping shiny pennies, wary of phone calls and promises, charmers, dandies, and get-love-quick schemes. When she stood with a desolate knowingness, waded out into the dark, wild ocean up to her neck, bathed in her brokenness. Said a prayer of gratitude for each chink in the armor she never knew she needed. Standing broad-shouldered next to her was a love that was really something, not just the idea of something. When she turned to go home, she heard echoes of new words. May your heart remain breakable, but never by the same hand twice. And even louder, without your past, you could never have arrived so wondrously and brutally by
Let your heart remain breakable, but never by the same hands twice. I feel like that is a amazing life motto. Fuck, that's deep.
Twice. And even louder, without your past, you could never have arrived so wondrously and brutally by design or some violent, exquisite happenstance. Here. No, nothing good starts in a getaway car.
Hell yeah. There's so much glitter. Woohoo! The way she's able to bring all of that electricity into that chorus, and the way she can actually make you feel everything, is probably one of the biggest reasons why I love Reputation so much. I talk about this a lot, but I just feel like that electricity and that intensity, that changes the game. That changes this from her playing a song live to her making you feel this song live. I'm loving this dance move. I feel like I'm not going to be able to listen to the song on its own now without thinking of Taylor Swift doing this and then like flying away. Like she's now changed what I had kind of had a visual for this song forever. Harmonizing with the crowd.
I'm in a getaway car. I left you in the motel bar with the money in a bag and I stole the keys. That was the last time you ever saw me driving. Getaway car, we were flying, but we never get far. Don't pretend it's such a mystery. Think of the place where you first met me. Riding.
Fucking killing it here.
Never silence, even radio hard. Should've known I'd be the first to leave. Think of the place where you first met me. In a getaway car, but they never get far. Nothing good starts in a getaway car. In a getaway car, I was crying. In a getaway car, I was dying. In a getaway car, said goodbye. In a getaway car, riding. In a getaway car, I was riding. In a getaway car, I was dying. In a getaway car, said goodbye. In a getaway car.
So I mean, come on. Come on. She's like, what, an hour and 40 minutes into the show at this point, and she brought that much energy to that song. Again, that's one of those performances where you just feel every bit of emotion. You feel the electricity, the intensity. There's so much happening in the performance. And not only is she full of energy still, but her crowd is still losing it. And I think that when you have that big of a loyal fan base, this is like a highlight of their entire life. Like, they're going to be here. They'll remember this forever. And it's not only important that they can, sustain that kind of energy for this entire time, but it's important that, like, Taylor does that. Like, she comes out, and even though this is 50 times she's performed this already, and it's one of the last songs, she's coming out with so much intensity, you're never going to feel like this was a job for her. And I've mentioned that in some of these videos before, but I think it's important. This is where passion really comes through. It's like all the fun part's over. Maybe like an hour in was a lot of the fun, and then it becomes work. But what keeps you going is that motivation and passion for what you're doing and passion for your fan base who were there for you this entire time. And I think those performances right there were absolutely amazing. I'm really sad to see that there's only like 20 minutes left of this performance, because I feel like I've dragged this out for a long time because, one, a lot of these videos kept getting blocked, and so I'm like nervous to do them sometimes and fear that no one's going to even get to see them. But the other thing is that I've dragged this out because I don't want it to be over. Like, at some point, this is going to end. And I know there's plenty other tours we're going to check out. Don't worry, I'm going to do those because I think even though her recorded stuff is so great, I actually just really enjoy seeing her perform this stuff live. You get the real emotion of what she felt in every song. And since she writes all of her music, or like 98% of it, I feel like you get a very authentic version of Taylor when she performs this stuff live. But thank you guys so much for spamming the comment section, asking me to continue the rep tour. I didn't expect it to be such a big hit, yet here you guys all are, and I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.